Hello, it's Dr. Elizabeth Alter. So, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the the certain tools that we have to as barriers towards the coronavirus. Um, what are you wearing these days? So, sometimes when I've seen uh, either people or patients, they've told me, "Oh, you're wearing safety glasses," or "Why is your hair covered?" Why are you always wearing gloves under your gloves? Um, so these are all issues that have to do with barrier protection. So the, I'll start, from head to hands, I guess. So the reason to cover your hair is because apparently this virus can attach itself uh, to your body, your clothes, including your hair. So having your hair um, either tied up or covered, number one, if you it keeps you from touching your hair. So as especially as women and I guess some men, they tend to touch their hair or just move have your hands near your hair somehow. So having it either covered or bound is much better. Now, there's several ways of doing that. I have this scarf that I've had forever, and I used to use it just to, if I'd wash my hair and I had to go somewhere before blow drying it, that's what I would usually use it for. And but now I use it for this, and I find it much more comfortable than a bouffant, which is that um, fluffy paper um, uh, cap that they use in the operating room. Also, I've seen people with shower caps, and I think these are very hot. So, you know, it depends on your situation. If you're just covering up to go to the supermarket, that may be okay. But for people who have to either, work or if you're in healthcare, it can become pretty tough to, have to breathe behind a mask all day, wear glasses and then have your head in a plastic um, cap. So the cloth ones are a little better, but I find that this handkerchief thing is best, and then I just wash it. Um, and basically, when I get home, I just remove it and I leave it, at the entrance of my home. So I'm not bringing in whatever is on there, if anything. So next is the protective eyewear. I'm just going to bring it up for a second because it fogs up a lot. So whether you're wearing the face shield or your glasses, um, depending, like right now I'm speaking a lot, so my breath is will fog them up. And I find that people with the face shield, it's also tough because it fogs up, and then the plastic is not very it's kind of cheap, so any crinkle, then you can't see well. So I find the safety glasses a little more manageable, it's breathable, and then if they fog up too much, I can just, if I'm talking, they'll fog up, but if I'm not talking, they don't fog up. So, but yes, the virus, the issue is it can enter through mucous membrane. So, you touch your eyes, your nose, your mouth. That's why we keep these things covered. And then the mask. So I've had people choking on these things because so there's that. And I'm sorry, I'm touching. I'm not. You're not supposed to be touching your face, but I mean, I'm on this video and I'm going to wash everything up later. But the problem with that other mask is that you can't breathe. I like these masks because even though you're not, you know, breathing fresh air, but at least there's some ventilation and you're not totally occluded. I know the N95 has that's feature where you can breathe. But really, there have been a lot of studies that these ones are just as good, and I just find them more comfortable. It's bad enough you have to be in this most of the time if you're out and about or um, whatever, depending on what your work is. And even for some people, just going to the supermarket with all this stuff is a little frustrating. So, so the, and then the other issue is, okay, replacing these masks every day. So what I do with this mask is that I have a sheet of tissue paper inside so that if I spit or, obviously there's some fluid coming out of your mouth when you speak. So I have this so that I can maybe get a few reuses out of the mask. Um, if you're fortunate enough to have an unlimited supply of masks, then that's great. But if you don't, this may be a good idea. And sometimes I put some thieves oil. So thieves oil was an oil that was used during the plague. Apparently, people who had this oil and were smelling it didn't die of the Black Plague. Uh, you know, um, there's a lot of stories out there, but I have a diffuser, so I'm diffusing it in the office and trying to use the thieves oil. Thieves like robbers, thieves. So yeah, so using this, and then again, if you're wearing that really occlusive one, so there's a really occlusive one, and then there's the N95 one. So again, studies have shown that the surgical ones are just as good. The problem with these surgical ones is that, for lack of a better word, they get furry. They just start shedding. See if you see, there's some, just that happens also on the inside. So that's why I try to wear a tissue inside so that to make it last longer. Then lastly, I'm always wearing fitted gloves. So gloves that are, my hands are small, so the fitted gloves. So what I do, instead of slathering on um, hand sanitizer to my skin directly, I wash my hands well, put these on, and then these come in contact with all the chemicals. And let's say I'm somewhere, I'll have these on, and if I have to do something, I put on gloves over these and proceed to do whatever I do. That way, my skin is always covered. And if I use hand sanitizer or I spray rubbing alcohol, I just, it's almost, I'm sanitizing my gloves instead of my skin. One of the concerns is that if this virus doesn't kill us, the chemicals will. I mean, people are just using crazy things, Lysol directly to their skin. This is not good. And obviously, whatever you wear. So, I try to wear some sort of, well, in my case, like a scrub top, my lab coat, and then I just remove that, and then that way my clothes haven't been exposed under. So these are just some, oh, and sneakers. I'm a sandal person, so I've had to give up my sandals and wear uh, closed shoes. Some people are wearing booties that they also wear in the operating room. You know, I think as long as you take off your shoes when you get home, you should be okay. I hope this has been helpful. I just don't want um, patients. I can't tell you how many patients are showing up with rashes. Just they're full of rashes because they're spraying all these chemicals. So please be aware that you may be hurting yourself with these chemicals. And I hope this has helped to give you some guidance as to what to wear and how to wear it. Well, stay safe and let's fight this virus with a healthy immune system and have a healthy day.